Welcome, welcome everybody to a very interesting and hot subject, which I'm going to be sharing right now. Just a moment. Am I sharing the right one? I'm looking for the right window. Can you see my presentation? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Um, Scaled Agile Framework, very controversial, a lot of discussions about it. So I'm going to try to inspire you for about half an hour, give you an overview, what it is and what it is not, and then I will be happy to discuss about it. Well, thank you very much to Learning Actors for setting up the stage, for giving us the opportunity to share with you our experience, our very extended experiences. About my person, Almudena Rodriguez Pardo, for sure, and Spanish flavor. I happen to be Spaniard, but I live in Germany now for 35 years. And I come actually from the telecommunication, from my background. I'm a software engineer. I was working for the company Ericsson 22 years in different roles, also in the software development. Also, I was part of a Scrum team. And also, I was part of an agile transformation. At that point of time, we did not use SAFe, but similar thing. As I am right now around Europe as expert for agile methodologies. Together with several ex-colleagues from Ericsson, we created 7 years ago our company where we support customers from all over Europe and South America in 4 languages. Unfortunately, our Greek is not that good yet. In anything you might need regarding agile methodologies, for sure we are SAFe experts, but not only SAFe. I like to have a wide toolbox. We're quite known in Europe as, I just see, I'm sorry, I see it's in German. the, the slide I took, I catched the wrong one, but I'm pretty much translating what's on it. And we're pretty well known as speakers in international agile conferences. And I will be next month in April in Italy at the SAFe Summit, European SAFe Conference, presenting our experiences in Austria with the Austrian Railways. So we move around a lot in the agile world and we see a lot of things and we observe a lot of implementations. And this is what we bring to our customers. And we're very happy in Greece to have agile actors as our partners in the introduction from SAFe. Now, there's a lot of movement out there in the world, not only on the political side, also in the technological side. Right now, we have in Barcelona the World Mobile Congress. A lot of new technologies, a lot of things ongoing, extreme digitalization and disruption all over the place. And we can summarize this movement in one word: complexity. Complexity is growing extremely, exponentially. And this is not new, actually. It's been happening now for 20, 30 years, but it's picking up. We're out of industry 4.0. Did we move on maybe to 5.0? And I have customers coming up and saying, Almudena, which industry revolution are we in right now? And do I need an agile transformation if I run a digital transformation? Do I need both? So there is a lot of confusion to keep the pace of complexity. Velocity is key. Nobody can be slow today. It's not about big fishes eating small fishes. It's about quick fish eating the slow fish. So we need velocity of change. And what we did in the last years, we created a lot of technological background on digitalization. We set up even huge 5G setups, and we have amazing technology, but our working methods did not change. You still have, in some companies you go, amazing technology, but this person at the front is taking all decisions for everybody else. This had not changed. And then we realize, yes, technological revolution is not enough. We need actually to also change the working methodologies, the way we are working. I hope so far you agree. Now, agility came. And even I would like to speak, this is not an agile presentation, but I would like to give a definition of agile because SAFe is an agile framework. Organizational agility. I really like the definition Forbes took. For the first, in digital disruption situation, no sector is safe. It's hitting everybody, even governmental organizations. Even sectors will say, oh, Mrs. Rodriguez, we don't need to change anything. No, it's over. Everybody has to change something. And one of the solutions we're finding to our problems is to achieve greater agility. Okay, fine, so far. And what I really like in this definition is not just a method, a process, it is about an ability, about adjusting strategies, yes? Changing our strategy, empowering, empowering for speed, not for democracy, for speed, flexibility and speed, and accept change, not only be surprised when something changes or a customer changes their mind, because they change their mind every single day, but be prepared for change when you're working on a product, a solution, a project. That is the theory of agility from one possible point of view. I'm not going to go through the Agile Manifesto now. And I like to put it on place hands-on because many customers say, Almudena, a very beautiful definition. What do I do Monday, 9 o'clock in the company? I say, well, watch. You're agile if you have teams, cross-functional, high-performance collaborating teams with a coach, Scrum Master, whatever you want to call it. Why teams? Because of collective intelligence. A team is the basic unit of any agile implementation, also SAFe, because none of us is prepared to solve complexity alone, but a team can handle it. Now, this team's working continuous delivery of value. How continuous? Maybe a 2 weeks sprint. You are constantly delivering value, not software, not documentation. And in constant contact with the customer and with customer adaptation. Every couple of weeks, we adapt to the customer, the value we produce, the whole thing in a mindset of continuous improvement. Every 2 weeks, we reflect, what can we improve? What can we do better? This is an agile environment. If you're working like this, you have an agile setup. I don't care which framework you have. Once this is in place and we have clarified this, okay, we needed methodologies and Scrum arrived. I love Scrum. I think Scrum was the right thing to be created. And here we defined 5 ceremonies, 3 roles, and 3 artifacts, which all together move as a machinery which fulfill these 4 areas of agility. We adapt to the customer every couple of weeks, and we secure, we deliver value, then we reflect how to improve it in a setup of an agile team. So these 4 areas of agility are fulfilled within the Scrum theory. Scrum has 16 pages. It's defined in the Scrum guide, translated to all questions, pretty easy to understand. And we began applying it at the beginning of the century. Very successful in many companies, mostly small companies. At some point, we realize Scrum is not enough. At some point, we realized that we needed to go one step forward. Why? Because we were agilizing the waterfall. We had, from the moment the customer wanted something until the customer got it, we had a very traditional project planning setup, then Scrum teams, and then traditionally delivery and release for another 6 months. So with Scrum, we had agilized a bit. And we realized at some point also in some companies, like in Nokia, where there was a moment where there were 2,000 Scrum teams. We saw that the Scrum was not enough. We realized we need to go one step forward, one flight level higher, and we need a Scrum at a scale. And that is what SAFe is about, Scrum at a scale. I mean, if you're working for a company with 30 people, it's nice that you're here. I'm happy to see you, but it won't solve your problems. SAFe is for agile at a scale. Starting with 100 people, support us. When you have several Scrum teams, we need to interact with each other, to be coordinator. That is where Scaled Agile Framework came in because Scrum was not enough. We needed more. Mm? We need to think of business agility. That is the new buzzword. From the moment the customer wants something until we put it in the hand and he pays. This is the complete business agility flow, including the invoicing department. And that is what we are trying to reach now with SAFe, not just Scrum teams, which is very good. We want to scale Scrum. And here's Dean Leffingwell, the guy who created SAFe 2011, somewhere around, began thinking of this lean enterprise. It was agility is not an option, so far we agree, but it was not a thing just for teams or for small companies anymore. It was a business imperative, one step farther. And here's where we have a world-leading, I will stop you some data, framework for enterprise agility, for business agility. SAFe defines itself as a knowledge base. It is a knowledge base. It has integrated a lot of elements you're going to recognize from Lean, from Scrum, from Kanban, from design thinking, from DevOps. It's put a lot of things together which were already there. And SAFe has created 2 or 3 new things, no more. So there's not much new in SAFe, which you might not have seen. What SAFe has done is put it beautifully together. Now, this is SAFe. This is a Scaled Agile Framework. I hope you don't start crying right now, because I'm completely aware the first time you see this framework, you just think, oh my God, this is supposed to be agile. Well, we're speaking about coordinating thousands of people in a company. For this, you need more than just a couple of small ceremonies. But SAFe has not done that much new. We have scaled existing ones. I'll come back to this at the end of the presentation. I just want to give you for the first a flavor. This is what it looks like. And even if it might look overloaded, it is not. What you see, what it looks like here, is just granularity. There's the State of Agile report, this investigation going on. The survey has been 17 years now going on, asking the same questions to companies worldwide. And what comes out is pretty clear that SAFe is the one which is taking over regarding agility at a scale. If you might not have a small company, yes, for sure, you can make it out with a Scrum and Scrum of a Scrum or Scrum at a scale. This is absolutely okay for 100, 200 people. You might not need more. You have 1,000, 2,000, 10,000. None of the listed methods can hold it. None of them. You might create your own method. Careful. I've seen a couple of disasters here. And you have the freedom to use any method. Careful. Careful, because you might have a coordination issue. If it works, happy. And for the most of the well-known methods, and I know many of them, I'm certified in Discipline Agile, I'm certified in large-scale Scrum. I know the Spotify model, which doesn't exist, but that's another discussion. So I can say I know them all. Fantastic methods for 100, 200, 300 people, and then it doesn't work. So Scaled Agile Framework is proven to work in big companies. It's also proven to work in traditional companies. I mean, you have a startup growing, anything will work out. You have existing traditional company which has been in the market for over a century, which is the case of some of my customers. You need a framework which helps you for an evolution and not a revolution. You don't want to break the status quo. You want to adapt it and change it. And here's where SAFe is really supporting us. As I mentioned, many companies worldwide are applying it, and many more. In the complete automobile industry, actually Mercedes-Benz is not included here. They have it also. Many governmental organizations, not only in United States, also in France, ministries in France, and almost any sector is applying Scaled Agile Framework. And you hear a lot of things. even if it looks successful, and it is successful, I've heard a couple of very good stories, you have a lot of emotions. There are people having a lot of discussions and getting very, very emotional about safe is not agile. I'm going to prove you that it's agile. And you also have the situation where people hold to safe if it's the one solution coming from the sky, one of the gods in the Olympus comes down and it's going to solve the problems of my company. It's not the case either. SAFE is only a framework. Can help you to solve problems, but cannot solve the problems for you. So I've seen a couple of situations where things were not working out. Oh, we're going to introduce SAFE to solve it. It's like, wait. Here we have a very interesting situation. A lot of failure, not only in SAFE. It is a lot of failure in the way of large-scale transformation. And there are people saying, it's because of the frameworks. It's because of the frameworks. I wait. Are you sure? And here I'm very thankful of my colleague, Michael Kusters, who put together a beautiful graphic. If you fail, there are several reasons for it. What are the management expectations? What does management expect when they say, we're going to introduce SAFE? What is the actual problem you are going to solve? And what are the possibilities a framework has? A framework is just a methodology, nothing else. If you don't have clarity on what problem are you trying to solve, and what are the management expectations on the framework, yes, you might be under the 70% which is failing, and believe me, it's not safe the problem. Is this what were you trying to do when you call for safe transformation? And so I have this situation a lot of customer calling and saying, hey, Almudena, we want to introduce safe. Okay, fantastic. Why? Because we want to be agile. Okay, why? Oh, everybody is introducing agility? Yes. Why? So what problem are you trying to solve? So if we do our homework beforehand, then a Scaled Agile framework can work in your company. The whole thing is not about introducing a framework. The whole thing is about change. Whatever you do in your company, when you bring agile transformation, either supporting with a framework or not, you are changing the status quo. And the problems you're going to face are related to change. So always keep in mind introducing an agile transformation with support of SAFE. It is change. So you need to give a lot of thoughts of the change management area. One of our, what is keeping us awake right now, one of our most intensive jobs right now is we are supporting the Austrian railways with the safe transformation. That's where my company is working on right now. We're speaking about 40,000 people in Austria working for a governmental company, and it's the biggest transport provider in Austria. 500 million passengers a year in a country with 9 million inhabitants. So huge complexity, a very big legacy, and governmental setup. With all these challenges, SAFE is helping us to move on. SAFE is giving us the tools, and it's giving us the framework and the artifacts we need to start little by little creating an evolution. What is SAFE? What is SAFE? You might have, for the first, I hope everybody's familiar with the Scrum. You might have first here, agile teams. Can be a Scrum and can be Kanban. Any will do. And of course, you have your team backlog and your board. And any agile team takes care of their own quality. So far, we have Scrum or Kanban, nothing new. And you may have a Scrum Master, you can call it team coach, and you have a product owner. The teams might be from the business or from the technology. It might be an IT Scrum team, or could be an Agile team in human resources, which we have done a lot in the last years. The whole thing is based on an lean agile mindset. And we follow SAFe principles, which are actually a mixture of lean principles, agile principles, and a couple of things on it on top. Now, once we have this box, a team, we might go one step further up and create the team of teams, what we call the agile release train, which has a value delivery. It is a flow of value from the very moment where a customer needs something until we put it in the customer hands. And this might be a solution created by 8 teams, 10 teams, and all the support figures, experts these teams might need. So an agile release train is a team of teams. It has the same ceremonies of Scrum. We have a sprint called PI, which goes over 3 months. We have retrospective, we have plannings, we have demos, very same as in Scrum team. So this is so far Scrum at a scale. We need a product owner of the team which takes care of the train backlog, and that's the product manager, which coordinates all the product owners. And we have the Scrum Master of the train, which is a very stupid name, release train engineer. And of course, the whole thing needs some architectural coordination. So these 3 figures take care of the team of teams of the train. So here we have Scrum at scale. Now, you might have a lot of trains. If you are creating an airplane like Boeing, you might have a few hundred trains, and then you coordinate them in a solution train so you can scale again. You might have 500 people working on the same product. We can coordinate in applying the SAFe. What's very important in SAFe, and most of the frameworks don't have, is the portfolio view. So far, this area, this essential area, is about execution. Where's the planning? How do we know what we're going to work on? And here we take care that our enterprise strategy is brought into the portfolio. And we create a Kanban where we clearly prioritize which are the products this company is going to be using, what are we working on. And once we have a clear backlog, then we can drop it to the trains and drops down to the required trains. Applying agile budgeting is not resource allocation anymore. So this is a very quick overview of how Scaled Agile Framework could work. And just a moment. No, I need to delete. I'm going to delete all the drawings. So you got a fair overview of SAFe. We spoke about why SAFe. We spoke about some of the pitfalls you might have when applying a Scaled Agile Framework. For sure, whatever company you work for sure, whatever sector you are in, you need some change. So you might be in the situation where your company is doing great and you realize what got us here is not taking us any farther. It's not that you have been doing a terrible job and now we're doing an agile transformations and things are going to be amazing. It's not about that. Maybe you have been doing a great job, but what we're doing so far, it doesn't work anymore. In the 90s, in the telco industry, we were sending the project to the customers after 2 years. At that point of time, in the 90s, 2 years for a project, for product delivery was okay. Now, nobody waits that long. So we need to apply some speed in the delivery, customer intimacy, all these new factors brought this. We have to change. Thank you very much for listening to me so far. I really tried to keep it short and crispy, so now I have the opportunity to talk to you about the questions you might have. I'm very thankful for joining us and for our partner Learning Actors for supporting our SAFe introduction in Greece. And I take this opportunity to announce that we are offering some SAFe courses in Athens online over Lean Actors, and we will be happy to have you there. Thank you very much, and great to have you here. Now we are open for questions. Thank you.